it's been a very interesting couple of days to see what's going on. Of course, the focus in the beginning of the trade fair has been on investment and investment opportunities in and around South Africa. But now the focus sort of goes towards an interesting concept, I think, within BRICS. It's talking about women in entrepreneurship. You yourself, as prominent woman in politics, must have quite strong views on this.
Yes, absolutely. I think that the rise of women participating both in politics but as well as the economy of our countries is of utmost importance to myself, and in particular in South Africa, considering the historical background, which, by the way, is a patriarchal society that has very little to do with race when we talk about this. We look at women in general across the board, and my view is that this is the time for women to occupy the space which they were supposed to have been occupying a very long time. And I think between the three countries, there are similarities of how women are being viewed or taken either seriously or not seriously, particularly in decision-making structures of both the economy as well as politics. I think women are just beginning to get into the right space right now.
Is it a scenario of women have to break through that glass ceiling themselves, or is it more a process of cooperation between business, government and the like to really establish the role of women in entrepreneurship?
It's a question of women breaking that from a point of view, as I said earlier on, that we live in a patriarchal society, and so women do have to take responsibility of fighting for their space. It's an old history, it's to the future, but in the current scenario, I am of the view that it's about cooperation, because it's not just about women fighting for their space, it's also about both men and women recognizing the importance of the role that women bring, not only in the family, because usually women are put on the side to be people who should take care of the family. Nothing must be removed of that, because that is still very important, but also women must then not be marginalized and undermined on the basis that they are expected only to be in the kitchen. So it's a cooperation between women and women's organizations, government, the private sector, and anyone who is concerned, including, my view is that it's including talking about education for women. Are women given those opportunities to study? And I see that in South Africa, the women are doing very well.
As you said, the young women in South Africa are almost outshining the young men it is in schools and so forth. Yeah, your portfolio has come very much into focus with the kind of representation that we're seeing with South African business at the trade fair, the BRICS trade fair. We see a lot of small businesses being represented here. That must make you quite happy.
Yes, I'm very excited about it, but it's still very low. If we were to look at the women's side of things, it's still very few women participation, because also we must not necessarily put women in some legal corner. If there are companies that are here, it's also about how much of these companies that are here have women either as shareholders, either as participants in the development of those companies. That's what's very important for me. But I also think focused approach of companies that are owned by women is also very important. And in the South African context, obviously, because we're still trying to deal with the imbalances of the past, we talk about black women-owned companies. And I must say this, I get very worried when people look at us as the Department of Small Business Development and only think we're there only for black women. We're there for all women, irrespective of color, irrespective of their background. But obviously, because we have a historical past that we need to address, you'd find that a lot of our support is on black-owned companies.
Small business is what you talk about. I see a lot of small businesses being represented here. Of course, it's not enough. As you mentioned, women representative and then small businesses being here at the BRICS Trade Fair. But BRICS presents a unique opportunity for small businesses to develop themselves in new markets.
Absolutely. I'm very excited about the fact that, that even the topic of small and medium enterprises and the informal sector is now on the agenda of BRICS. And as a Minister of Small Business Development in South Africa, I think that a lot still needs to be done in supporting SMMEs in the continent overall. But now that we are on the agenda for here, and I know, for instance, tomorrow's program which will be that of Ministers of Trade. We are also participating as a Department of Small Business Development, because we're Department of Small Business Development, but it's all about trade. It's all about the economy. It's all about people building their businesses. It's all about ensuring that they have access to markets, access to finance, and access to opportunities. And my view is that BRICS presents just that opportunity for South Africa, and vice versa, because it's not a one-way process. What we can produce in South Africa, it must find market within the BRICS countries, and as well as the other countries.
As you say, it presents a unique window of opportunity, but it is also just a window of opportunity. It's not something that will be there forever. How do we make sure that we make use of this window of opportunity to get small businesses to interact on a global level like this?
I think it entirely depends also on the small businesses and medium enterprises themselves. Government is not about to do the job for them. Government is here to create a conducive environment for them, and they need to take advantage of what is available. Here we've got small and medium enterprises which have been supported by government to be able to come to the BRICS summit. And I think that since BRICS started, the issue of trade between the countries have never been very far away. But I think it's our responsibility as government to give the information about what is happening here, to conscientize our own small and medium enterprises to be aware of what those opportunities are within BRICS, but also giving the opportunity for them to explore, because unfortunately South Africa has always been locked in. So a lot of our people never had the opportunity of traveling out and seeing what's happening in the outside. Now is the opportunity for them to travel to India, to Russia, to Brazil. And I know I used to be ambassador of South Africa to Brazil, and we received quite a lot of small and medium enterprises in Brazil just to come and see what is available and what can they explore.
In conclusion, I just want to shift the focus to what is happening here in New Delhi. Of course, it's the very first BRICS trade fair. How do you reflect on the trade fair itself, and what would you like to see this trade fair develop into in the years to come?
Let me just start by acknowledging the fact that these are developing countries, and they are operating within a global world which has got a lot of opportunities on its own. But these are countries that have decided to come together because they see the opportunity in terms of the size of the population, the opportunities between all those countries. I see this as a first step. This is like an elephant that's just starting to grow, and it has a potential of growing really big. It's about understanding each other's economies. It's about respecting each other at the same time, but it's also about understanding that while we are working with each other, there are other global issues that have an impact on us. But united, I think we're going to be quite a force to be reckoned with as BRICS countries.